edenleri için Allah rızası için El Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alennebi. Ya eyyühellezîne amenü sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala ali seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Vessalatu vesselamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecma'in. Nehmadullah Teala ve nasta'fir ve neşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike lah ve neşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammedin abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluh sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve sahabi tabi'i hulefai raşidin mahadin min ba'di ve zalimmati ala tahkik hususan ve alaimati hulefai rasulü ala tahkik Umar el-Mu'minin Hazreti Ebu Bakr, Umar, Osman ve Ali ve ala bakri sahabe tabi'in ridvanullah teala aleyhim ecma'in. Ya eyyuhel mu'minul hazirun ittaqullaha teala ve ati'u innallaha ma'allezine tekavellezine hum muhsinun. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala eşrafil enbiya'i ve mursalin seyyidina Mevlana Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecma'in. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, who is the first and the last, the manifest and the hidden, the one who has might and power over all things. And all praises are due to Allah, who sent His Habib, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, as the mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Imam of the messengers, the master of the prophets, the Sultan of creation, the intercessor of the day of judgment, the most honored one in the divine presence, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafai Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar al-Faruq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza. O believers, welcome to you on this holy day of Jummah. Welcome to you on the last Jummah of the month of Shawwal. Inshallah Rahman, on Saturday night we will enter to the month of Zulqa'dah. And 1 month after that we'll enter into the sacred month of Zulhijjah, the month of Hajj and the month of the Qurban. Believers should know where they are and should always be preparing themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Luqman, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, verily the knowledge of the hour is with Allah alone. It is He who sends down rain and He who knows what is in the wombs. Nor does anyone know what is that he will earn tomorrow. Nor does anyone know in what land he is to die. Verily with Allah is full knowledge and He is acquainted with all things. In another ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, every soul will taste death, and you will only be given your full compensation on the day of resurrection. So he who is drawn away from the fire and admitted to paradise he has attained his desire. And what is the life of this world except the enjoyment of delusion? And Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu is saying, I was one among 10 people who came into the presence of the Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. One Ansari stood up and asked the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, who is the most intelligent and the most careful person? And he alayhi salatu wasalam replied, those people who remember death most and who prepare for it most. These are the people who have excelled in the nobility of this world and the honor of the hereafter. One time the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was walking into the masjid and he saw the people inside laughing and joking around. And he said, if you remember death, I would not see you like this. Think of your death often. Not a single day passes when the grave does not call out, I am a wilderness, I am a place of dust, I am a place of worms. When a believer is placed in the grave, it says, welcome. It is good of you to have come to me. Of all the people walking on the earth, I liked you the best. Of all the people of the walking on the earth, I like you the best. Now you have come into me, and you will see how I will entertain you. The grave will then expand as far as a person can see. A door from paradise is opened for him in the grave. And through this door he gets fresh and fragrant air of paradise. But when an evil man is laid upon the grave, it says, you are not welcome here. You coming into me is very bad for you. Of all the people walking on the earth, I hated you the most. Now that you have been put into me, you will see how I'm going to treat you. It will then close upon him so much that his ribs on one side will penetrate into the ribs of the other. And as many as 70 serpents are then set upon him to keep biting him until the day of judgment. These serpents, these snakes are so poisonous that if one of them happened to spit its poison upon the earth, not a single blade of grass would ever grow. O believers, Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, the ayats that we have mentioned, the hadiths that we have mentioned, is just pointing out to one thing. We are all going to die. All of us are going to enter into our graves. All of us are going to answer for what we did in this life. There is no escaping from that reality. And in order to prepare ourselves for that certainty, we must be the ones who are constantly remembering death. Because one of the biggest sicknesses that has entered into the whole mankind in these days, especially the 21st century, the 21st century Muslims, is that they don't remember death. They pretend that they're going to live forever. They're making plans not for the next year, not for the next day, but for the next 500 years. And this is one of the diseases that the Holy Prophet ﷺ warned us that would overtake the ummah in the end of times. He said, nations are about to unite with each other to jump on you, just as diners are invited to a plate of food. The Sahaba Kiram asked, will it be because of our lack of numbers that day? He said, no. You will be many on that day, but you will be like scum that floats on the river. Allah will remove the fear of you from the hearts of your enemies. And He will put wahan into your hearts. It was said, Ya Rasulullah, what is wahan? He said, love for the dunya and hatred of death. So because the Muslims have fallen in love with this world, with this dunya, because we have the fear and hatred of death in our hearts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken away the haybat from us. If we look at the heroes of Islam who came before us, whose names used to make the enemies of Islam shiver, we find that they were remembering their death constantly. Who does not remember Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent? But listen to what he says. Listen to his poetry that he wrote, begging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he used to write poetry, he used the name Muhibbi as his pen name. And he was writing, saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Secret or open, nothing is hidden from you, Ya Rabbi. Heal my anguish-stricken heart. You're the wise one who knows a cure for all sicknesses. O merciful one, shukr to you that you made this servant of yours a Muslim. Keep my faith till the last breath. Do not let the accursed shaitan come near me. Ya Rabbi, for the sake of Mustafa, your messenger, grant us your bountiful paradise, Ya Rabbi. At the day of judgment, keep Muhibbi, the slave, on your side. When the Muslims lost this thinking, when they lost this kind of heart, when they lost this kind of ashq, when they lost the support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the Muslim Ummah asked for the sultans, for the khalifas, for the khilafat to be removed, then the best humans amongst us were removed from our heads. So many people are saying wrong things about the sultans, but look at the words of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. That was a kind of heart that the sultans had. And because of that humbleness before Allah and His Prophet, they were given unstoppable support from the heavens. Oh believers, we must wake up to that kind of love inside of ourselves. If we want help from Allah and His Prophet, then we need to become those who are remembering our death, remembering our graves, remembering the day of judgment, and running to be in the service of Allah, of the Holy Prophet, and of our Shaykh. As Sahib al-Sayyid Shaykh Abdul Kirbisi Rabbani is teaching us, saying, sit down alone in your room and ask yourself, do I have the love of dunya in my heart? Do I have the fear? Do I hate death? You will know by your own selves. You don't need anyone to tell you anything then. Don't blame me to say he's saying these words. I'm checking myself all the time, 24 hours a day, to see if my heart is moving to dunya or akhirat. You must do the same. If you do it, then slowly maybe the protection will come to you. Maybe the help will reach to you. When the awliya's help is reaching to you, slowly they remove that fear away. And they remove it with a different kind of love into your heart. And that is a real love. Otherwise, dunya love is only temporary and passing, and is only giving trouble to mankind. If we take these words seriously, we will find safety to our own selves. If not, you are going to live by yourselves, and you are going to die by yourselves. You are going to enter into your graves by your own selves. Nobody is going to be there. You are going to be alone. Think on it. Think. And that is maybe tomorrow. Maybe before tomorrow. Maybe next year. Maybe this year. Maybe 10 years from now. Maybe during this year's time. But it's going to happen. You cannot escape. It is only a counted time, counted days or years. You cannot escape. Every single day, moving one step ahead, you're moving one step ahead to your grave. Don't forget.